Altogether, glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, and now, and will be forever. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of
the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you so much. And once again, good afternoon to everyone, to the 56 participants of our webinar series for the Master in Public Administration program. Good afternoon and welcome again. Of course, our speaker for this afternoon is not new to you. She has been with us in our previous webinar, and one of the dynamic icons of SDO Bulacan, the dynamic, intellectual, and ever beautiful ASDS of the SDO Bulacan.
May +5 sa IPCRF.
And of course, she will be sharing her experiences and wisdom about the partnership, especially of the local government units in partnership with the role of LGU with the development of the Department of Education. So I think we have chosen the right person for this because our speaker has been in the Department of Education and has been engaged with different LGUs. So we will listen to her experiences and wisdom, and we are asking for your active and full participation all throughout this, what I call intellectual sharing. So without further ado, we have Dr. Weng, Ma'am Weng ASDS. Ma'am, kindly take the floor, please.
Salamat, Doc Alvin. Naririnig ba ako? Clear ba siya?
Yes po, clear po.
Okay, thank you. And thank you for this opportunity again to be with you. And this time, I'll be sharing about the partnership with the LGU. No? So malapit po sa puso namin dalawa ni Doc Alvin kasi pareho kaming nasa DepEd. Alright? So the topic that was given to me is the LGU's role in DepEd's development. So we will see the partnership of the LGU and the Department of Education. All right. Okay. So if you look at government and education, I'd like to share with you two quotes. Pythagoras said that the beginning of every government starts with the education of our youth. I hope you all agree with this, that education is really very important. No, lahat naman po tayo nag-aral, at kung hindi tayo nag-aral ngayon, wala tayong magandang buhay. We always say that education is our ticket to a very good life after our education. And the mere fact that you are still studying today after you have your baccalaureate degree, that means you still want to continue your success, no? Especially with our youth, no? It is the first duty of the government to provide or to give education to the people, and we always say that education is a right, it's not a privilege. So everyone is given the right to education. That's why our government provides free education for the basic education, that's kinder to grade 12, and we also have our alternative learning system. All right, so when we speak of the LGU, we have what we call the political subdivisions in the Philippines. So it starts with the barangay. It is led by our barangay captain. We call it the Sangguniang Barangay or the Barangay Council. And in the municipality, it's led by a mayor. We have our municipal mayor at meron din tayong tinatawag na Sangguniang Bayan. No? We also have our cities. The city is also led by a mayor. Meron din tayong tinatawag na Sangguniang Panglungsod. And of course, the province that is led by a governor, at tawag natin sa sanggunian o yung council is the Sangguniang Panlalawigan. All right? So we know that when we talk about LGU, when we talk about LGU officials, we're talking about from the barangay level, the municipality, the city, and the provincial level. Okay, I hope alam niyo na pong gamitin ang Mentimeter. I just like to see the group, kung sino po sa inyo ang nagwo-work sa LGU. This is the code 90200234 or the link. Or if you have a QR code scanner, you can scan the QR code and go to the voting area, no? From the Mentimeter. Just to see kung ano yung ating participants for today. Alright, nakita niyo na po ba? Can we see the result? All right. Let's see the result. Okay, so from our participants, we have 6. There are already 10 of you who answered the voting, no, the question, which is a yes or a no. So there are 6 of you who are working with the LGUs and there are 4 who are not working. I hope for those who are not working with the LGUs, you still would be interested to what we will be discussing today, because everyone is concerned about education. No? We have our children, we send them to school. Okay, lahat naman tayo, kahit hindi tayo nasa LGU, kahit hindi tayo nasa DepEd, we care about the education of our young. No? And we all agree that the education of our children, the education of our young would really help our country. As we have mentioned last time, the development index, no, of a country, kasama po ang paano daw po mag-vote. Balikan natin yung ano kanina, yung ating link. Okay, yan po yung ating code. I-type mo lang ang Mentimeter, ma'am, tapos ilagay mo yung code, makikita mo na yung question. Or kung meron kang QR code, i-click mo yung QR code. Alright? Okay, so alright, so ang ating answer, merong 6 na yes. I don't know kung yung mga nag-vote dito kasama pa yung nasa chat. And we have 11. So there are 12. So there are 18, no? There are 18 of you who, okay, 19 na, 19. Tingnan natin. Thank you for your participation. Okay, I hope when you also present or when you give a lecture, you can use Mentimeter, no? Maganda siyang gamitin. Madali para sa participation. Although we can also use the chat. All right, so this is our participants, no? We have 6 of you who are from the LGUs and 13 who are not. Pero nandiyan din si Sir Charlie. Okay, Ma'am Elaine. Okay. Ma'am Healer. Oh, hindi ko po alam kung ma'am or sir na nagsabi that they also work with the LGU. Thank you. All right. So at least we have a picture of our participants. But as I mentioned, I hope that even if you're not working with the LGU, you would still be interested, okay, with our topic, because as I mentioned, we all care about the education of our young. Okay. All right. For those who answered yes, okay, siguro ano na lang, sige baka mahirapan po yung iba, chat na lang kasi konti lang kayo. We will not anymore use this Mentimeter. For those who answered yes, that you are working with the LGUs, can you chat? Okay, kung ano pong LGU kayo connected o kung ano yung LGU na siniserve ninyo. Alright, tingnan natin ang ating chat. Okay, marami po ang nagsabi ng yes. Okay, sige. Alright, Sir Danny sa Malolos. Okay. Si Ma'am Ching, kilala ko po si Ma'am Ching. Nakita kami sa Girl Scout. So sa City Government of San Fernando, Pampanga. We also have Municipality of Giginto, LGU Obando, Provincial Government of Bulacan, LGU of Magalang, Provincial Health of Bulacan, Provincial Government of Bulacan, Kapit-bahay po tayo. Doon po ang aking opisina din. Okay, we also have Provincial Government of Bulacan. So we have from Bulacan and from Pampanga who are with us, no? And they are serving our LGUs. All right, so yun po ang ating participants for today. Thank you for your active participation. All right, if you remember last time, we mentioned about the SDGs, no? The Sustainable Development Goals. So there are 17 of them. I know that when you are working in the LGU or whatever, in your offices, whether it's not in the LGU, kung nasa mga agencies po kayo, meron po kayong mga goals, no? Mga SDGs na in your own way, through your key result areas, through your mandates, you are able to help, okay, in the accomplishment or in the achievement of these goals. Okay, so we all want this, no? Yung number 1, no poverty, 0 hunger, good health and well-being. Of course, what we are talking about today is about quality education, no? Yung ating pong SDG number 4. And we also have gender equality. That's why we also have our gender and development. Now, we even have 5% of our funds for our GAD programs, projects, and activities. SDG 6 is clean water and sanitation. Number 7 is affordable and clean energy. Yung ating mga taga-DENR, okay, your focus, no, on your KRAs are this one. Of course, we also would like to provide our people decent work and economic growth. Concern nyo rin po ito kayong mga nasa LGUs, no? Industry, innovation and infrastructure, reduce inequality, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, of course, climate action, life below water, life on land, very specific na po ngayon, no? Hindi lang natin sinasabi environmental protection, but we now specify below water, on land, our air, okay, yung climate action natin. Of course, number 16 is peace, justice, and strong institutions, partnership for the goals, no? These are the 17 goals to transform our world from 2015 to 2030. Okay, so our target is for 15 years. Okay, medyo naapektuhan po ang mga to dahil sa pandemic, but we hope that we can recover, no? And in 2030, we can achieve the 17 goals to transform our world. As I mentioned a while back, the most for us, no, in DepEd, okay, and kayo rin po in the LGUs and even in other agencies, because you are our partners, you are helping us in the achievement of SDG number 4. All right. May I ask you, sige, bago po natin pag-usapan yung meaning ng quality education based on the sustainable goal number 4, what is quality education for you? When do you say that, for example, you have a child and your child is studying, how would you say that the education given to her or to him is of quality? Okay, kapag, for example, member po kayo ng PTA ng school and you also care about the quality education for all the learners in the school, how would you define quality education? Ngayon, nag-aaral po kayo. Okay, how do you say that quality education is given to you? Let's go again to Mentimeter. Okay, we will form a word cloud from your answers. It could be a word or a phrase on your definition of quality education. How will we achieve SDG number 4? And when we say quality education, you know that it's not only us from DepEd, both public and private, and even our, of course, yung CHED, kasi part din siya ng education. It's through partnership, no? It's not only us who can provide quality education, but it's in partnership with our stakeholders. When we engage our stakeholders. Let's see your answers. All right, so you say better learning, opportunities. After graduation, there are opportunities. Accessible to all, so that's access. Sige. Best education, it's equitable. I would also look into the chat. Okay, so Danny said accessible to all, so that's access. Education that is accessible to everyone, because we said that education is a right, no? So therefore it should be accessible to everyone. Materials and resources are available. Holistic, okay, opportunities, better learning, holistic development, holistic approach, okay, accessible, equitable, employability, competitive and excellence, holistic, focuses on the whole of the child. So pare-pareho po yung ano nyo, no? Parang nag-usap kayo sa mga answers ninyo. All right. You were saying employability. Okay, yun po ang K-12, di ba? Ang K-12 graduate daw ay handa sa kolehiyo, handa sa negosyo, at handa sa trabaho. All right? So you were also saying there's high standard. I like that, no? Yung good behavior. Kasi when we say education, we don't just mean being competent, being intelligent, possessing the standardized or essential learning competencies. You know how to read and write. You are very good in speaking. Okay, you're good in communication. No, I like that participant who mentioned good behavior, no? Skills and attitude, right? The character of an individual. Kapag may nagbago doon, yun ang pinaka-aim ng education natin. Sabi nga ng vision ng education, okay, our learners should have values and competencies. No? It's not only competencies, but even values. So you were saying about access. Okay, access means education is provided. And what kind of education? It's quality education. Ang DepEd po, dinagdag pa niya yung relevant. No? Ang education daw is of quality when it is relevant. No? And it is liberating. When we say liberating, our learners appreciate the arts, appreciate the history, and it's the education that would liberate them from the bondage of poverty, from the bondage of ignorance. No? Okay, so thank you for your definition of quality education. This is all our it's for you, it's your dream, no? For us in DepEd, it's our mandate, okay? That we ensure we don't just provide accessible education, but this is education that is of quality. So we now shift from access to quality kasi marami na kaming enrollees, okay? So nasa amin na yung ating mga learners, no? If they are not in the public school, they are in our private schools, no? If they are not in both, they are in all. So we have now our school head children who are with us. So that is access, but we are now committing, no, to providing quality education. And as I mentioned a while back, it's not just quality education, but also relevant education and liberating education. All right. So this is SDG 4. Tingnan po natin yung sinabi nyo kanina, no? Kung ito po yung definition ng ating sustainable development goals. For the SDG number 4, there are 10 targets. Okay, how do we accomplish, how do we achieve SDG number 4? Number 1, there is free primary and secondary education. No? Kung nakikita nyo po ang ating mga public schools, lagi natin sinasabi, okay, no collection policy. Okay? Yung mga anak natin na nasa private school, binibigyan din sila ng DepEd ng tulong, yung tinatawag nating ESC at saka GASPE. So we ensure that there is really free primary and secondary education, which means that our learners will not be paying their tuition fees. No? Kung nagbibigay po sila, for example, ng 100 pesos, 200, that's their PTA donation. It's taken care of by the PTA. Pero yung ating mga schools, meron na silang MOE. Okay, so therefore, ang target po ng quality education to really make it accessible is to provide free primary and secondary education. Today, meron na rin po tayong free tertiary education, or like DABSU and the different state universities. So wala na pong reason ang ating mga anak na hindi po sila mag-aral ng college, no? Because even the college education, the tertiary education is being provided free by our government. Okay, target number 4.2 is there is equal access to quality pre-primary education. So we also have our kinder, yung MSWD, DSWD, meron pa silang yung mga daycare, no? So before they reach grade 1, 2, 3, and 4, which is the primary education, they also have equal access to the quality early education. All right, so that's target 4.2. Okay, next, target 4.3, there is equal access to affordable technical, vocational, and higher education. As I mentioned a while back, okay, we now have also access no to affordable sa atin po sa Pilipinas, free po, okay? As I told po our president last time when we had our meeting, I have two children po who are with DABSU, no? They're studying engineering. One is in third year, one is second year. And I didn't pay a single centavo when they enrolled. So that's free higher education. Okay, it's also there. We also have TESDA. So therefore, our learners, okay, and even the out of school youth and even adults can be provided technical and vocational education. Okay, target 4.4 is the increase in the number of people with relevant skills for financial success. All right. So when we study, okay, when our learners learn, okay, when our learners go to school, they will have relevant skills for financial success. That's why I mentioned a while back na ang K-12 po, hindi lang preparation for college ang aming tinuturo, no? We teach entrepreneurship, okay? We also teach about being prepared for work. Like in the senior high school, we have our TVL. No, I would like to share this. When I was po in Pampanga, we conducted tracer study, no, on our first graduates of K-12. So when we saw the results, not 100% went to college. So ganun po kahirap ang ating mga parents, no, that even if the education in tertiary may DABSU po, okay, na pwede silang pumasok kasi nasa Pampanga po sila, meron pang mga campus ang DABSU, ngayari may Santo Tomas, meron ngayon pong Candaba, may Apalit, merong Lubao, no, may Porac. So may mga pwede silang puntahan, but still they did not go to college, no. Okay, so we didn't get the 100% of college education. Why? Because K-12 teaches our learners that to be successful is not only to be in college, no. They can also work. No, we were happy that during that time, I think that we had more than 3,000 learners, okay, who were hired. These are TVL students, no, and they were hired by the agencies where they had their immersion. So we were happy with the result of our tracer study, no. It means that our learners, okay, are not just competent, no, because they had their NC, but they had shown or demonstrated positive work attitude and positive work ethics, because most of them were hired by the agencies where they had their immersion. So that is education, no? We provide them with relevant skills for financial success. I think we had during that time when we had the tracer study, we had 75 who became entrepreneurs. So nakita namin dito po mahina pa ang DepEd, no, yung pagtuturo kung paano magnegosyo ang ating mga estudyante, no. I remember when we presented the data with our governor, okay, and with the board members, we mentioned that we wanted help, no, for our learners to be given capital for them to become entrepreneurs. All right, so that's target 4.4. Okay, we want our learners, number of people to be increased, no, for them to have relevant skills for financial success. In DepEd, we also look into our parents. Like when I was a principal po of Masantol, later I'll show you the video of my school when I was a principal of that school. It's a very poor school. Yung mga taga Pampanga po, alam nila kung anong Masantol, laging binabaha, no. What I did was I coordinated with TESDA. Okay, so tinuruan po yung aming mga nanay ng beauty care, no. So natutunan nila yon. Natutunan din nila yung preservation ng fish, so ng carpentry. So when I was a principal there, I told myself, I'm not just a principal of these learners, no, I also need to help the family. Okay, ako yung unang merong feeding program. Wala pang feeding program ang DepEd, may feeding program na ako, no. I was a principal of the of the high school, pero walang elementary. So nag-open po kami ng elementary. And this is because of partnership. Okay, may mga partners po na who helped me. During that time, it was these were private partners, no? But later I will share with you yung help po ng LGU when I was a principal sa aking paaralan, no? So tapos meron pa akong partner noon na parang microfinancing. We provided 5,000 pesos for the family members, and they used the 5,000 pesos in whatever negosyo that they wanted, no? Until now po, no, that was I was there 2007, 2012. Until now, nandyan pa po yung kanilang financing program, no? At nabayaran na po nila yung utang nila. Okay? At meron pa po silang mga negosyo. All right? So that's part of education, no? We would want our people to have relevant skills for them to have financial success. Okay, another is to eliminate all discrimination in education. That's why we have what we call inclusive education, no? We have our IPED, Indigenous Peoples Education. Yesterday po, I was with the superintendent. We went to the Dumagats of Bulacan, no? Dumaan po kami sa NPC, dumaan kami sa Angat River para po makarating sa kanila. Dadaan ka ng Angat River, no? Sumakay kami ng speedboat with the military ng 30 minutes. So ang layo po nila. Okay? They only have elementary education. So why were we there po? Because we wanted to open a secondary. So gagawin namin integrated. And the elders were very happy, no? They were there with us in the meeting, and some of the learners, and they were happy with that, no? We eliminate discrimination. All should be given the education. No one is left behind. Even our SPED, no? We also have special education classes. We also have madrasa for our Muslim learners, no? Meron po silang sariling curriculum, no? Even ang IPED natin po, ang Indigenous Peoples Education, in-include po yung kanilang history, yung kanilang community culture, in-include po siya sa competencies ng DepEd, and that's the Indigenous Peoples Education. So all of our learners, no, are provided with education, and we call it inclusive education. So we eliminate all the discrimination in education, or all our types of learners are provided education. Meron din po tayong ALS, meron tayong para sa mga out of school youth, meron kaming ALS para sa mga nasa kulungan, no? Iba't iba pong community learning centers. So we make sure that everyone is provided education. Another is universal literacy and numeracy. Okay? Meron pong ang DepEd ngayon. Why am I sharing this? Siguro po para pag nagplano kayo, even those who are not in the LGU, even those in the agencies, you can see on how you can help DepEd, no? And how you can partner with us, and on how you can share with our mission. Universal literacy and numeracy. This is our reading. Ito po yung pinupukpok namin ngayon. Meron kaming BBB, no? Bawat bata bumabasa. Dapat at grade 1, nagbabasa nila, no? At grade 3, may comprehension na. So we have our reading test. And numeracy, dapat po lahat sila ay numerates, no? That's our target. We encourage all our school heads to ensure that they have programs, they have interventions in order to improve literacy and numeracy. Okay? Target 4.7, all right? Is education for sustainable development and global citizenship. So we teach our learners, okay, that they are global citizen, no? That's why maganda po na nag K-12 tayo ngayon, kasi we are now at par with other schools in other countries, no? Because we now offer 13 years of basic education. Okay, the other 3 are to build and upgrade inclusive and safe schools. Okay, ang LGU po natin nakakatulong po dito, no? Yung ating Special Education Fund, they provide us with budget for repair and even construction of buildings, no? All right. So that our buildings, our schools are also safe, lalo na po ngayon na pandemic tayo, nakita natin yung kahalagan po talaga ng safety ng ating learners. Although this is part of our mission, no, to provide our learners with a safe environment. Another is to expand higher education scholarships for developing countries, no? Okay, so we have free education, but we also, the target for quality education is to also expand scholarships. When I was in Masantol, yung kinukwento ko po sa inyo, yung mga anak namin doon, pag fourth year na sila, hindi na po nagka-college, no? So as a principal, I thought, how would I help our graduates, no? Especially po yung mga matatalino, sayang po na pag nag-graduate sila ay mag-aasawa na, no? Or yung iba ay magkakatulong, yung iba po ay magtatanim, where in fact, if they could go to higher education, they would have better lives, no? So I partnered with universities, no? So meron po kaming scholars ng Holy Angel, may scholar po ako ng University of the Assumption, kasi wala pa pong free education noon sa ating mga SUCs, no? So as a principal, I also thought, no, how I could help our graduates, no, after high school. Tapos meron po kaming nakipag-exam sila sa CHED para sa mga CHED scholarship and other scholarships na pwede po silang mag-exam, no. Bilang principal nila noon, nire-review ko pa sila sa mga admission test, tinuturuan ko kung paano pa-interview, no. I remember nung yung ibang nag-exam ng UP, sinamahan ko pa. So when I look back at my role as a principal, I would really see myself as a mother to our learners, no? And I wanted them to really proceed, no, to their education and do not stop after high school. So this is one target for quality education, that there would be higher education scholarships. Why am I doing that? I think that was pay forward for me, because when I was in college, I was also a scholar, no? My parents told me that I should already stop my schooling, no? Sabi ng tatay ko, wala tayong pera, hindi ko kayang mag-college. So I was able to go to college because of a scholarship. Okay, and hindi lang po ako, we were 9 in our batch, no, were given a scholarship at St. Scholastica's College, and I was able to have my education degree in that school for free. Okay, so and look where I am now. I became a teacher, a principal, and now an ASDS, no, and I am able not just to help my family, but even the community and the division where I am assigned. So ganun po, if in education there are scholarships that are given to our learners, okay, to our graduates, then it would mean also success for their lives, no? All right, and the last target for SDG 4 is to increase the supply of qualified teachers in developing countries. Okay, we all agree that there should be quality teachers. I know you agree with me, because our teachers are the ones who are at the forefront of education. So for us to really have quality education is for us to have quality teachers, no? So one target of SDG 4 is to increase the supply of qualified teachers, no? Pag nag-hiring po kami, ang dami nating mga pasadong mga teachers, no? And we ensure that we hire qualified teachers, the best teachers for our learners, because when we have quality teachers, definitely we will have quality instruction and quality learning outcomes. So this is one of the targets of SDG 4. Okay, so when you go back to the 10 targets, okay, and when you do planning, you can think, okay, on how you could help DepEd. You know the situation of the schools in your community, no? I'm sure your principals are coordinating with you. Kami pong mga principal noon, ang tawag sa amin ay mga professional beggar, no? Pag nakita niyo yung mga principal, lagi pong nanghihingi yan, no? Kasi that's part of the yung kanilang partnership, that's part of their CRA, their key result area, to build connection with the partners, with the stakeholders. Okay? This is po our mission. Tingnan niyo po yung number 4, no? So our DepEd mission is to protect and promote the right of every Filipino to quality, equitable, culture-based, and complete basic education. So our students learn in a child-friendly, gender-sensitive, safe, and motivating environment. So if you are in the LGU or another agency and you want to help in the education of our learners, you can help in that, no? yung ating pong learning environment. The teachers facilitate learning and constantly nurture every learner. Our LGUs also support our teachers through the trainings or funding of their researches. No? Administrators and staff, kami po yun, as stewards of the institution, ensure an enabling and supportive environment for effective learning to happen. Yung last na mission, you are part of that po. No? Family, community, and other stakeholders are actively engaged and share responsibility for developing lifelong learners. Okay, so you are part of our mission, being part of our community, part of our stakeholders. No, when you engage with us, when you engage with our schools, and you share responsibility for developing lifelong learners. Later po siguro we will have sharing from you on how you have helped the schools in your community, no? What contributions or engagement did you have? Okay, where you would say that you were able to share in the mission of DepEd, no? That you're not just there watching what's happening with the schools, what's happening with the learners, but you actively engage in the development of lifelong learners. Okay. Kanina po you were saying about accessible education, and I mentioned that we're not just now looking into access but also quality. Nakakahiyaman po, no, nung nagkaroon po ng PISA, yung exam, mababa po, I think lowest po tayo, no, sa science, sa mathematics and reading comprehension. So it was a wake-up call for DepEd during that time, no? Kaya po nagkaroon po ng battle cry ang DepEd, which is sulong edukalidad, no? So it's now a shift from access to quality. What will we do with our learners? What kind of education will we provide with our learners who are enrolled with us? So I'm sure you have heard about sulong edukalidad, no? This is now the new battle cry of DepEd, okay? Because we know that we don't have any more problems with access, but we really have problems with quality as shown in that exam, no? So this was a challenge for DepEd. So ang sulong edukalidad po ay merong KITE, no? The 4 pillars of sulong edukalidad. The K, I, T, and the E. The K is the K-12 Curriculum Review and Update. Actually, bago po tayo nag-pandemic, tiningnan na ng DepEd ang curriculum at nakita nga na masyadong maraming competencies, no? So nabawasan siya. Kaya nung nag-pandemic tayo, it was already ready with the most essential learning competencies. So ang nakitang reason kung bakit hindi natututo yung ating mga learners is because of the curriculum, no? Na ano po siya, masyadong maraming competencies ang nandun and there's no mastery. So DepEd was able to identify all the most essential learning competencies. That's why during the pandemic, it was ready with the MELCs. No? Another is the improvement of the learning environment. Okay. Our schools, classrooms, and other learning facilities will be designed to promote productive learning experience. We have what we call the public schools of the future, no? And we hope that that would materialize. It's a long-term goal of DepEd to really improve the facilities of our schools. But right now that we have our blended learning, it could be that the plans would be adjusted or would be adaptive to what is happening, no? Siguro instead of providing more classrooms, the budget could be used to provide gadgets for our learners, because in the future it might be that the blended learning or the online learning or the homeschooling would be part of the choices of our parents now when they enroll their children. The third one is we always say this, that our teachers are the most important, no? Resources that we have in DepEd, in education. We upskill them and we reskill them. This year that we had our blended learning, we conducted a lot of capacity building for our teachers. And letter E, nandito na naman po ang ating partnership, no? It's part of the sulong edukalidad. It's the engagement of stakeholders for support and collaboration. So DepEd will spearhead a call for unified effort from our stakeholders in delivering quality education to all. No? So we will deepen our engagement through consultation. Okay, meron pong collaborative researches and analysis. We include you in our strategic policy and planning and programming for quality. No? So we will need the help of all sectors and communities. So our LGU, our partner agencies, our parents, and even the private sectors, no, would be part of our Sulong Edukalidad. As we always say, it takes a nation to educate a child. So it's not only DepEd, no, we are at the frontliners, of course, for education, but we need to engage you, our stakeholders. All right. I know that you know RA 7160, no? Which is our local government code of 1991. Yung Title 4 po, it's the local school boards, no? And Section 98 states that there shall be established in every province, city, or municipality, a provincial, city, or municipal school board. Okay, meron po ba dito na members ng school boards ng ating LSB? I'm sure you have heard about the LSB, even if you are not with the LGU. So let's see kung ano po yung LSB or yung ating local school boards in the province, the city, or the municipality. No? Sa provincial school board po sa ating province, ang governor at ang superintendent, pareho po silang chairman, no? Co-chair po silang pareho. Alright, that's why kung magmi-meeting, wala si governor, the superintendent can actually conduct the meeting, no? Kasi siya po ay isang co-chair. Who are the members of the PSB? So the chairman of the Education Committee of the Sangguniang Pandalawigan. So yung ating board member po na assigned to head the Committee of Education. Of course, the provincial treasurer, the representative of the Federasyon ng mga Sangguniang Kabataan in the Sangguniang Pandalawigan. So ating SK po, no? The duly elected president of the Provincial Federation of Parents Teachers Association. So importante po ito, merong parent na umuupo sa board, no? Yung ating pong presidente ng lahat ng PTA presidents ng division. Okay, so this is the province po. So for example, sa Pampanga, yung ating DepEd Pampanga, okay, yung superintendent, co-chair po siya ni Governor Dennis, no? Okay, so buong Pampanga po siya except the 3 cities, hindi po kasama ang San Fernando, ang Angeles at Mabalacat because they have their city school board, no? All right, and then the duly elected president of the provincial duly elected representative of the teachers organization in the province. So meron pong recognized teachers organization, no? So the representative usually is the president. And then the duly elected representative of the non-academic personnel of public schools in the province. So ilan po yung ating members? There are 6 of them with the 2 co-chairs. All right, for the city school board, our city mayor and the city superintendent of schools are both co-chairpersons. So our members are again the chairman of the education committee, the city treasurer, the SK president, okay, yung ating PTA federated president, the duly elected representative of the teachers organization in the city, and the representative of the non-academic personnel. Okay, ito po, mamaya magkukwento si Sir Alvin kasi siya po ay superintendent pa ang nilagay nila. Superintendent of schools. Municipal supervisor po ito dapat, no? Kamali sila. Okay, municipal mayor ang co-chair, ang municipal supervisor of the schools in that district is the co-chair. All right, at ito po yung ating mga members. Can we ask Sir Alvin to share with us? Kasi siya po ay co-chair ng mayor ng Hagonoy, no? Okay, bilang PSDS. So paano po ang school board? Paano siya nagfa-function? Can we request Sir Alvin to share with us?
Hi, good afternoon to everyone.
Yeah, may recitation, Sir Alvin.
Merong unannounced recitation. So being part of the municipality of Hagonoy and as appointed by DepEd as the public school district supervisor, I sit in the local school board as member or co-chairman, and the main function is to scrutinize everything about educational system that is being implemented by the Department of Education in the municipality of Hagonoy. I am also in charge in the submission of yung tinatawag nating SEFMAM, yung Special Education Fund, and I am being consulted whether the fund is okay and kung ano yung mga paggagamitan ng mga funds na yon para sa municipality. So just very recently, the municipality of Hagonoy decided to stop the distribution of module in Hagonoy, and I was not consulted with regards to that decision. They launched an executive order related to that matter, but I was not consulted. So what I did was I wrote a formal letter to the mayor explaining to him that the education must not stop despite the pandemic, because there are other means to deliver the self-learning modules to the students of Hagonoy. At first, he was hesitant because there was a surge of COVID cases in Hagonoy. And he was telling me na his main concern is to prevent the spread of COVID virus. So I told him that I totally understand his concern, but I would like also to be given the chance to continue the distribution of module, and I will ensure as PSDS to strictly monitor the health protocols that are going to be implemented during the distribution of self-learning module. Until such time na sa mahabang panliligaw ko sa mayor, pinayagan din. Pero mahabang paliwanagan yon at mahabang protocols yung dinraft namin, and pinaliwanag sa kanya na the health and the COVID will not be spreading, no? The health will be the main concern, and COVID will not be will not spread in Hagonoy. Sa una mahirap, pero pag napaniwala naman natin, example sa experience ko, it was very challenging on my part because I'm new to the position, and yun kagad yung nabutan ko. And I came from the private institution, and then here I come, bagong-bago sa pagiging PSDS. Yun kagad yung nabutan kong situation. But then again, I have no other option because one of my roles is also to represent the Department of Education to the municipality of Hagonoy. So today we are successfully implementing everything, and everything is being approved by the municipality of Hagonoy. One key, isa sa mga nakita kong key reasons why the trust was given back to DepEd, kailangan din pala na na kakausapin sila, constant communication. Pangalawa, if they have requests, they would like also to be assisted. For example, they are requesting that one of the schools in Hagonoy be used as parang isolation or quarantine facility. So what I did is I immediately asked for the requirements to be submitted to the division. And nakita nila na yung willingness to partner. Yun ang hinahanap nila, yung partnership with DepEd. Pero it was a challenge to me. I have to share this to the group kasi hindi ako sanay makipag-usap sa mga mayor. Sa private kasi kausap ko lang mga yung presidente at saka yung mga deans under me. Pero this time I'm talking to different personalities like municipal councilors, kasi there is a committee on education who partners with me in terms of education, yung mga activities ng DepEd. And then sa ganda ng relasyon ngayon, even school disinfection ina-approve kagad ni Mayor ng Hagonoy. Kasi what I did, ma'am, is I requested the Hagonoy Fire Station to disinfect all the schools in Hagonoy. Sabi ko, to ensure that the school is safe from any COVID virus. So right away, pumayag naman sila. All the schools in Hagonoy East District were disinfected by Hagonoy Fire Station through the approval of the municipality mayor. So without this good relationship, to me, partnership will not be possible. Yun lang ma'am. On the spot sharing na tayo, hindi ako prepared.
Thank you, Sir Alvin. Hindi, prepared ka kasi ginawa mo yon. And during our emergency meeting, we asked Sir Alvin to share with our supervisors, no? Kasi marami po ang nag-stop sa aming mga municipalities, and our attention was called by the regional director kasi hindi namin mamimit yung aming calendar. So there were mayors who announced, no, the cancellation of SLM distribution. But Sir Alvin, okay, was an example, no, of our leaders who would really go to our mayor and explain that the SLM distribution, the online classes, the SLM retrieval, the modular instruction is also an essential task. So even if it's an MECQ or it's an ECQ, we still proceed with our classes because the operationalization of the BSCP is considered task, no, an essential task, no. At nakita ko rin yun nung nagpunta ako sa isang school ni Doc Alvin, no, naka PPE pa yung mga teachers, no. He made sure that through the MOE ay bibilhan nila ng PPE yung mga teachers. So even if they were there, they were physically present and they were distributing the modules, they were safe, no? And we appreciated that. That's why I asked Doc Alvin to share it with you because that was a very good, ang tawag namin doon is organizational skill, diskarte, no? You don't anymore wait for us to tell you what to do, but on your own, through your leadership and your partnership with the mayor, you were able to have him approve, okay, your recommendation. May letter na si Mayor sinend sa amin, no? Tapos sabi niya, ma'am, kakausapin ko pa po si Mayor at explain ko sa kanya. Napag-agree niya, pinalitan ni Mayor yung kanyang declaration, no? So because he is the co-chair, no, of our municipal school board. So nakita niyo, no, sa school board it's not only the budget, no, yung pinag-uusapan doon, hindi lang yung special education fund, but you saw how the two, yung LGU at saka ang DepEd, okay, partnered, okay, in order to really provide education to our learners even during this pandemic. All right? So ito yung, thank you po, Sir Alvin.
Okay po, welcome, ma'am.
Salamat. All right. So ano po yung functions? Ano yung function? So this is again based on our Republic Act 7160, no? To determine in accordance with the criteria set by DEX pa po siya, no? The annual supplementary budgetary needs for the operation and maintenance of public schools within the province, city, or municipality as the case may be, and the supplementary local cost of meeting such as needs, which shall be reflected in the form of an annual school board budget. So what they do is to really prepare the budget, no? We call it the SEF, the Special Education Fund, okay, and such other sources of revenue as this code and other laws of ordinances may provide. So tingnan natin mamaya saan po nakukuha yung ating budget ng LSB, which is the SEF, at saan siya ginagamit, no? So every year po ang ating superintendent is part of this board that prepares the budget of the provincial school board, no? Yung ating city superintendent naman is for the city, at ang ating supervisor, kagaya ni Sir Alvin, they prepare the municipal LSB budget. Okay? Okay, so ano po yung ang kanilang functions? Another is to authorize the treasurer, as the case may be, to disperse funds from the SEF pursuant to the budget prepared and in accordance with existing rules and regulations. It also serves as an advisory committee to the Sangguniang concerned on educational matters such as but not limited to the necessity for and the uses of local appropriations for educational purposes. Ngayong taon po nakita natin nagtrabaho talaga yung ating mga school board, no? Nag-adjust po ng budget pinalitan yung kanilang budget. They made it adaptive and they adjusted the budget to the needs, okay, for blended learning. So they really worked this year po, no, to really prepare for the provision of blended learning or the distance education for our learners. Then to recommend changes in the names of public schools. Kapag po meron tayong open na school, sila po yung gumagawa ng resolution. Kapag meron pong changes in the names of public schools within their territorial jurisdiction, they do it po for the enactment. They recommend it for the enactment of the sangguniang concern, even for the opening of schools. Okay, so ito po yung saan pong galing yung ating CEF, no? It's 1%. The proceeds from the additional 1% tax on real property accruing to the special education fund shall be automatically released to the local school board. Kaya kami po, lalo na ako nung principal ako, pag nag-PTA meeting ako, lagi kong sinasabi, magbayad po kayo ng 1 milyar, no? Kasi po, pupunta po yun sa amin. Okay? So pag in-encourage natin yung mga tao na bayaran nila yon, no? The additional 1%, okay, will be given to the CEF. Okay, saan po siya pwedeng i-allocate, no, or i-gamitin? First is the operation and maintenance of public schools. So meron po kaming mga janitors na binabayaran po ng CEF, no? Hindi lang po ng MOE. Merong iba kasi na maliit ang MOE, so meron pong ganyan na even the operation and maintenance of public schools, na lalo na yung mga maliliit yung MOE, binibigyan po nila from the CEF. Ito po, construction and repair of school buildings, no? So we recommend to our CEF, okay, kami po sa probinsya, kung alin pong mga schools ang mga nangangailangan po ng construction and repair, no? Si Sir Alvin, sa mayor, kung meron pong kailangang repair sa mga schools ng Hagonoy. So it depends kung ano po yung needs ng mga schools. Facilities and equipment, pwede po yan, no? Kaya tingnan nyo po yung ating mga mayors, nakabili sila ng mga gadgets, binigay sa mga schools, binigay po sa mga teachers, binigay sa mga estudyante, mga tablets, mga gadgets. So it's included po. Another is research. Okay, yung iba po hindi nila alam ito. Researches can be funded from the CEF. Okay, so tinrain po yung mga teachers on research and you ask them to prepare the researches, and then ang dapat po sa mga researches ay pinapublish. Kasi there was a time na hiningan po kami ng provincial government kasi yung sa Seal of Good Governance, kasama po yan sa mga inahanap nila sa mga criteria, no? Yung mga published researches, because the researches, the educational researches are funded from the CEF. Another is purchase of books and periodicals. Ngayon po, yung self-learning modules, ginamitan na po ng CEF. Sa amin po sa DepEd Bulacan, yung second quarter at saka po fourth quarter ay manggagaling sa CEF, no? They provided us almost 200 million for the modules of our learners. So galing po yun sa provincial CEF, no? And the municipal CEF provided other materials, no, like bond paper, yung iba po mga Riso machine, okay, mga laptops, and we appreciate po the help of our governor and our mayor. Even in Pampanga, yung mga nandito po, si Governor Delta, siya po yung nag-fund ng TV, no, yung Super K Eskwela, no, and nagbigay din siya ng mga bond paper at saka po yung mga machines, no, printing machines sa ating mga schools. Okay, and even our mayors provided po from the CEF. Okay, and the last one is sports development as determined and approved by the local school board. So yung sports, pag meron tayo pong klaraa, yung mga gamit po ng ating mga athletes, galing lahat yan sa CEF, no? Yung pagkain nila, yung allowances nila, galing po yan sa CEF. Okay? So we appreciate this, no? This is the support of the LGU, no, to the DepEd, and this is from the Special Education Fund. And what we also support is our leaders also help, no? Yung iba po galing na sa sa bulsa nila o kaya minsan galing sa general fund, hindi na po sa SEF, no? When they see really that there is a need sa ating mga eskwelahan. Okay? Can we practice first the 20-20-20 rule to reduce the effects of digital eye strain? We will take a break for 20 seconds. Okay, and while we do that, you look at something 20 feet away para po maano yung mga natin. Alright, tingnan nga natin. 20 counts. Next na, 20. Alright. You drink your water po pwede po kayong mag-break while you are listening. Alright? So, when you have online classes, you do this, okay, para po ma-reduce ang effects ng digital eye strain. No? Okay, tingnan natin. Ano po yung support ng LGU sa education? I'll share with you a video. Pasensya na po, hindi siya Pampanga or Bulacan na. Calamba City po siya. We'll watch a barangay captain who shares po kung paano niya tinutulungan yung mga schools na nasa kanyang barangay. No? So we'll start with the barangay level. Later, I will be asking you to share how you help our schools so that we could appreciate you and affirm your contribution to our mission of education.
Magandang araw po sa ating lahat. Ang inyong lingkod, Kapitan Flaviano Tanyola, kung tawagan Kapitan Olab Tanyola, kilala po yan sa aming barangay. Well, pagdating po sa barangay, siyempre, hindi naman pwede na pagdating sa edukasyon, kailangan nakasuporta po ang aming barangay. Kagaya po ng kung ano yung programa ng eskwelahan, sapagkat ang aming pong barangay ay merong tatlong eskwelahan, ito yung 2 elementary at 1 high school, kasama yung mga ibang privado. Siyempre, pagdating ko sa pampubliko eskwelahan, priority po ang ating suporta. So, ibig sabihin kung ano po yung activities na pinakoordinate, kagaya niyo yung parang regular na po na activity ng DepEd, yung brigada eskwela. So pagka yung pangailangan na naabot kayo ng ano na yung tutulong, kaya materials, manpower, so nandiyan po ang barangay. Siyempre, nandiyan po yan sa loob po ng isang taon ng kanilang pag-aaral, nandiyan yung pagka-day activities, yung Teacher's Day, yung pong sa Drug Awareness Program, inay binabahagi po namin. At nandiyan po lagi tayong invitado. So, kagaya din po ng kanilang mga eskwelahan na minomonitor po pagdating po sa kalusugan. Meron din po tayong proyekto dyan sa barangay. So, hindi pwede po na iwalay o alisin po. Lagi po yung kabikat po ng barangay pagdating sa edukasyon. At marami pa ang iba. So, kumbaga palitan po ang paaralan at pamalang barangay ay nagtutulungan at sa abot ng kaya ng barangay ay nasuporta po. Dahil po, kita po naman namin, hindi lang sa elementary, lalo sa high school po. Ang ginagawa lang yung koordinasyon sa barangay. At may kinalaman din dito sa mga didisiplina ng mga estudyante sapagkat karamihan po rito siyempre minsan nawawala na lilis na ng landas lalo na yung mga medyo napapano sa mga pinababawal na gamot. So kasama po, katuwang po ang barangay sa pag-resolve sa ganyang problema. So lalo na po yung ating mga minsan nagkakaroon tayo dyan ng mga yung ating 9262 yung child abuse po, paten na kakalimutan po yung special degree na pagdating sa child abuse po. So andyan po nakasuporta ang ating barangay. At sa atin naman po posisyon uli bilang kapitan, kailangan din po talaga natin itugunan at meron naman po tayong ating mga SK na kailangan po ay sumuporta sa ating lahat na pamahalaan. At sa pamagitan po nga nito, lalo ngayon, nasa panahon tayo ng pandemic po, kaya po ang suporta ay hindi pwede lalo ng ating paigtingin sapagkat yung ginagawa ng ating paaralan na yung modules. So, kailangan tulungan natin na isa yun sa kailangan na identify na siyempre bawal po yung ating close contact. Kaya hinihiling dito yun na saan lugar na dapat magbigay tayo ng identify para doon sa pag-distribution ng modules. So, at ito na po ang aming binibigay dyan ng lugar. Kung maaari po, ito yung aming cover code po, dalawa yan, sa Christopher, Calamba Hills, para yung mga estudyante na mga malalapit doon, doon na lang po kukuhanin. At di rin po sa harapan ng kampo, mayroong terminal dyan, pwede po kami maglagay ng tolda, asistihan ng mga tanod, ng mga staff ko, pwede mag-identify po tayo para sa distribution ng module. At sa kampo naman, walang problema kasi doon na sa school nagaganapin. So sa labas po ng high school, di na po yung mga posible may bigay namin. Diyan sa terminal, sa harapan ng gate ng kampo, sa Calamba SB cover code po tayo, may papuntang Mahada para malapit-lapit, at saka po dito sa Christopher, na posible nga amin pong ibigay na lugar para sa ating pag-distribution ng modules. Dito sa aming barangay, ay handa na kami para sa school year 2020 at 2021. Handang isip, handang bukas.
Alright. So that's the best practice po of Barangay Mayapa, no, of Calamba. Can we ask our participants of this class, our students po who are part of the LGU, kanina may nagsabi po that you are part of the LGU. Can you share yung best practices po ng mga barangay nyo? Kagaya ng napanood natin kanina, yung tulong ng barangay sa Brigada Eskwela, sa ating pong, asan po? Tingnan natin, no? Sige, can we ask, thank you po, Ma'am Ching. Mamaya ikukwento ko yung sa Masantol. Sige. Sabi niya, competitive but some schools are with high tuition fees. And that's a private school po. Pero ang DepEd naman po ay chine-check po yan. No? Meron pong, ang mandate namin sa mga private schools is we're the ones who regulate that. So chine-check po yan ng DepEd, Ma'am Delia. Alright, so can we ask one from our students po, from our learners in this class to share sino po ang pwedeng mag-share? Nakita natin yung sa Calamba, that's in Calamba, but can we have a sharing po of the best practice in one of your barangays in terms of the support to education, kagaya po ng shinare kanina ni Kapitan ng Barangay Mayapa, no? So it's not only SBM, Teachers Day, ang magandang sinabi niya, pati pa po yung discipline sa mga estudyante, no? Yung sa mga bisyo, that's a very good partnership, no? Ako po, nung principal ako ng San Matias High School, tandem din kami ni Kapitana Pinky noon, no? Siya po yung kapitana ko. Pag may nakita po yung mga barangay na nakakalat sa lugar, talaga pong kukunin nila, no? Kukunin yung bag or kukunin yung ID, tas i-report sa opisina ko. So yung mga estudyante namin doon, takot po silang mag-cutting class, no? Hindi po sila pumupunta sa mga tindahan para bumili ng sigarilyo, hindi po sila pumupunta sa mga computer shops, no? At talaga pong nag-aaral sila kasi may partnership ako sa kapitana at sa mga barangay tanod. So can we have one among you who can share a best practice in their barangay? I'm sure po ang mga kapitan natin ay nagre-report, nagkakaroon po kayo ng meeting and you ask them to share their best practices in terms of the different committees, no? Ano yung report nila in terms of helping our schools. Sige. Kung wala po, later we will have sharing, no, when we proceed to the sharing of the municipality. Sige po, later. Sige. All right.
Ma'am?
Yes, Sir Alvin.
Yeah. Can I say something about dun sa comment? Nabasa yung comment about private schools.
Sige.
Yeah, kasi right now, just last week, I initiated a virtual meeting with the private schools, the owners of the private schools in Hagonoy, as well as the parents of grade 6 completers going to junior high school and grade 10 completers going to senior high school. Because I believe that there should also be a private public partnership. Kasi meron tayo for junior high school, we have ESC, that is about 9,000 yata per student. And for senior high school, there is about 17,500 voucher system. So we opened, the private schools tried to open their support to public schools by first not adding up any single centavo to the current, let's say for example, current senior high school voucher system na 17,500 lang. Parang some schools was able to offer, let's say, free tablet for the first 50 applicants at senior high school. So I think that the private schools, of course, they also need to survive. They're also at the same time helping the public schools for those students who would like to try education in the private education, in the private schools. So these private schools in Hagonoy have launched several strategies by which the parents can be motivated to enroll their children in their private schools. And some schools they really pledge na once they enrolled in the private school, the private schools will not solicit any single centavo as a form of payment when they enter the private school. So I think that is also a good practice of private schools, that when the government launched the voucher system, 17,500, ay hindi na sila nagdagdag. Merong mga no top up talaga.
Top up.
Yeah, no top up. And in fact, meron pa silang mga free LMS, kasi these private schools are really purchasing learning management system. And ang kagandahan sa learning management system, they don't need to buy books because everything is already in the learning management system, in that platform. So parang ang maganda dito, the private school now is providing support to private education, but not compulsory for those who just would like to experience private education in the junior and senior high school. So yung comment na medyo mataas, in my own experience sa Hagonoy, parang hindi ganon yung nangyayari. Siguro lang, mga isolated areas, yung mga schools na private school na napakataas ng kanilang top up pag lumipat sa kanila yung from public schools. But in the area of Hagonoy, the private schools are very supportive to the public schools education. By offering no top up and even free tablets for the first 50 entrants. Parang ganun.
Tsaka chine-check ng DepEd yan. Kunyari, mataas ang tuition, makikita nila doon. Kunyari, they provide the LMS, maganda yung laboratory, ganon. So, hindi naman basta-basta i-approve ng DepEd yung mataas na tuition kung hindi nako-compensate sa ino-offer nilang services. As mentioned by Doc Alvin, our private school are really our partners. So we really appreciate that we have private schools kasi we cannot really accommodate all our school age children in our public schools. So we see them as our partners. We appreciate po their provision of access to our learners, no?
Ma'am, last na lang po. One of the things also that I recommended as PSDS of Hagonoy, I recommended to private schools that if they have an LMS, sana there is also an option that the LMS be offered offline, through offline. Kasi if the LMS will be functioning through online alone, that will be a difficulty for those students and parents who do not have a good internet connection at home. But in reality, actually, this learning management system can be utilized offline. So yun ang discover ko sa kanila, pinapaaralan ko. Para sa mga galing public schools, ay hindi na problema sa internet connectivity, because that's one of the problems now. I think not just in Hagonoy, everywhere yata ang problem ng internet connection. But in Hagonoy, talagang mahirap yung internet connection. Kaya nga, what I did, ma'am, again, I hope this is an innovation. I am talking with the Smart Communications, and they offered me several services for free. For example, they are offering 5 free Wi-Fi zone areas. For example, 5 public schools where they can provide Wi-Fi free zone. Parang ganon.
That's good.
For a start. So, inaaral ko pa po yung contents. Pero ang maganda doon, habang inaaral ko yung contents, ma'am, walang babayaran yung DepEd, walang babayaran yung principal, yung teachers, wala. It's actually free. And I told them, bakit nyo ginagawa ito? Parang it's part of their corporate social responsibility.
Tama.
At this point in time, kailangan ng mga estudyante ng Wi-Fi support dahil nga online ang ating ina-advocate. But sadly, not all parents and students would have this internet connection. So, nagtatry sila na mag-identify ng 5 areas wherein maglo-launch ng mga free Wi-Fi zone. Parang ganun po. Pag yun ay nasa katuparan, baka may report ko sa division office kapag ongoing.
Doc Alvin po is one of our VIPs. Very innovative PSDS. So, di ba? I'm very proud of him kung ano na yung na-accomplish niya. No? May sharing sa chat si Ma'am Emelita San Agustin. Thank you po, Doc Alvin, for that sharing, no? Tungkol sa ating mga private schools. Can we ask Ma'am Emelita to share? Ang sabi niya sa LGU Giginto, lahat ng elementary school binigyan ng smart TV ng mayor. Alam po namin yan, na-report po sa amin. But can we ask Ma'am Emelita to share about it? At bakit po TV ang binigay?
Gandang hapon po.
Yes po,
nai-award po yan matagal na rin bago po mag-pandemic to. Para yung mga bata po kasi hindi po ba usually yung ibang mga teacher ay sa visual aids po na ginagamit. May mga Manila paper o kung ano pa man yung mga materials na ginagamit. Mas madali po kasing maintindihan ng mga bata kung mayroon silang napapanood. Kaya ang ginawa po ni Mayor ay talagang naglaan po siya ng pondo para lahat ng mga elementary school ay mabigyan po nitong smart TV. At kung mapapansin niyo po sa pondo ng SEP sa Giginto, lahat ng aming elementary school ay stainless po yung kanila pong mga supported.
Pare-pareho sila.
Opo, lahat po kasi ng pondo, lahat po talaga ng request ay ibinibigay po ng aming mayor para yung sa gardening nila, yung sa lahat ng mga projects, sinusuportahan po. At maging si Chaong Elementary School, kasi isa rin po ako sa board member ng aming kooperatiba sa munisipyo, nag-donate din kami ng mga pintura, ng mga gamit na talaga pong kailangan para lalong mapaganda po yung school nung dito sa Chaong Giginto. Kaya ang LGU po at ang barangay ay talagang lagi po na nakasuporta sa mga project po ng elementary school o maging yung aming pong vocational high school. Lahat po naman yan. Basta nag-request po sila kay Mayor at nakita po ni Mayor na maganda po yung magiging resulta at para sa kapakanibangan ng lahat ng mga estudyante ay ibinibigay naman po ni Mayor yung kanila po mga request. Yun lang po at marami po.
Salamat po, ma'am. Ang Mayor po ng Giginto, siya po yung League of Mayors President ng
Ambrosio Boy Cruz Jr. po.
Salamat po.
Sa Giginto yan?
Opo.
Maming next mo lang ako dun ba?
At saka ang ganda-ganda ng kanilang district office. Meron pa silang parang on conference room at saka magandang gym kung saan sila nagte-training. At ang ganda ng sasakyan ng PSDS. Nainggit po si Sir Alvin. Nagpapalipat na ng ganyan to.
Magpapatransfer na ako.
Tingnan mo, Ma'am Emelita, gusto na pong magpalipat ni Sir Alvin. Kasi po ang Hagonoy, siya lang po ang walang sasakyan na PSDS. At saka paumbong.
Sige po, bukas daw po i-request na daw po kayo ni Ma'am.
Ano yan, sarili ko ng sasakyan na ginagamit ko, binabaha pa. Kaya araw-araw nagpapawash ako, nagpapa-undercoat ako regularly kasi madaling mabulok dahil ang tubig alat ng Hagonoy ay nakakasira. Ma'am, baka
Ma'am Emelita,
baka naman
nagpa-transfer bigla.
Baka naman tagiginto, may
very supportive ang ating mayor, no? Kasi siya nga ang president ng ating liga ng mga mayor doon, no? Si Mayor Ambrosio. Paabot niyo po sa kanya, ma'am, ang aming pasasalamat sa suporta po sa ating mga paaralan. Thank you po for your sharing. Mamaya may mga sharing pa po tayo, no? Kung ano po yung tulong na binibigay po ng ating LGU. Siguro hindi lang ng LGU, even ang ating ibang agencies, kung ano po yung tulong sa ating edukasyon ng ating mga anak. Alright? Can we proceed now to the next? Alright. Ito naman po, city kanina, barangay, no? Nandito si Ma'am Ching. Mamaya siya yung mag-share sa atin. Ang City of San Fernando, Pampanga, si Mayor Edsa po, no? Binigyan niya ng division office ang city division, no? Minsan nagpunta po kami doon, nag-meeting kami at nag-inggit kami sa ganda ng kanilang division office, no? And I'm sure marami pa pong project na binigay si Mayor Edsa para suportahan ang edukasyon. Later we will ask Ma'am Ching to share with us kung ano po yung support ng City of San Fernando, no? Government sa education po ng mga learners natin sa San Fernando. Okay, tingnan po natin yung kinuha ko lang to sa Facebook, yung kanila pong blessing ng magandang schools division office, no? So nakikita natin dito yung partnership ng ating superintendent at ng ating mayor, no? Ang dalawang co-chair po ng city local board, no? School board. Alright, so yan. Para lang po makita nyo, ang buong division na yan galing po sa city government. Yan. Alright. Ang katabi po ni Mayor, si Mayor po yung naka-white. Ang nasa left niya si SDS Makaspak. Alright. So, you see, ito po ay buong building, no? Ayan, makikita nyo po. Alright. So, yan. That's the building. Yan. Galing po yan sa city government, no? Alright. That's our mayor po ng San Fernando. And those are our learners na nagmamano po sa kanya. Okay? So, yan. Para lang po makita natin. Yan. Yung support ng local government. Alright. Yan. Ito naman po ay classroom, no? Ito po yung school na malapit sa division office, no? Yung senior high school po ng San Fernando. Alright? So, aside from the division, nandun rin po ang building ng senior high school. Okay? Alright. So, again, all right. So see, that's one accomplishment po of the City of San Fernando LGU. Can we ask Ma'am Ching to share Aside from that, beautiful SDO building and senior high school building, ano po pa ang support na binibigay po ni Mayor EDSA sa ating mga Fernandino learners? Ma'am Ching, are you still there? Siya po ay nag-work sa LGU City of San Fernando. All right. Siguro later, pag nandyan na po si ma'am, okay, kanina nag-chat siya, we would ask her to share, no? Aside from that building, aside from the school building, aside from the division building, malaki din po ang support ng City of San Fernando LGU sa education, no, ng mga Fernandino. Meron silang Fernandino TV Kids, meron silang Fernandino Kids TV, meron silang Fernandino Teens TV, even po yung kanilang mga modules galing din po sa mayor, no, yung support po ng city government. All right? Later we will ask po Ma'am Ching to share with us. Okay. I'd like to share with you another video. Ito po yung sinabi po ng DepEd asking for LGUs to support, no, the funding of the distance learning. Okay, I'd like to share with you this video. Parang nagkaroon ng issue, no, yung sinabi po ni Mayor Remulla, no? So sinagot po siya ng DepEd. Tingnan po natin ang sabi po ng aming USEC tungkol sa pagsusuporta po ng LGU.
Ang ating hubang mga guro sa public schools ay ready na kaya para sa online learning or blended learning para sa kanilang mga estudyante, USEC?
Yeah, we have to put it into a proper perspective as well, Johnson. Wala yatang nag-expect, no? No one expected that something like this, itong pandemic na ito ay darating. And to be honest, ang ating DepEd, especially on the budget side, is not designed for blended learning. It is designed for face-to-face learning, especially our budget. Kaya kung tatanungin kung handa tayo, ang sagot lagi ni Secretary, I think we should not wait for the readiness. No one is ever ready for it. But we should take the step forward. At yun po yung sana nga po ay mapag-usapan natin ngayon.
Opo, Yusek, yun hong binabanggit ni Governor John Vic Remulla ng Cavite, yun daw hong DepEd National, wala daw hong contribution para ho dun sa gagastusin ng mga eskwelahan sa mga LGUs. Paano po bang sistema sa allocation of budget?
Unang-una gusto natin magpasalamat kay Governor John Vic Remulla. Siya ay aming pinaka-strongest, ang tawag ni Secretary, the strongest ally of the department. Kasi lahat po talaga ay sinusuportahan ni Governor. At ito pong kanyang ginawang Facebook post is actually a awakening at recognition na talagang para sa kanya, importante ang edukasyon. Kaya niya po ito ginawa na post na ito, gagawa siya ng investment for education. But una gusto nating explain, meron ho tayong dalawang senaryo na inaasam. Ang tawag natin yung ideal scenario, lahat kompleto, lahat ng resources available. At lahat ng gusto natin, like for example, giving the gadgets to our teachers and learners. And yung talagang secured minimum health standard and everything that we want to happen. Ideal ang tawag natin doon. But we also planned for a conservative scenario. So yung conservative scenario naman will take into account ano yung available resources natin. For example, in financial, and kanina nagtanong ka, preparation of our teachers. So this is a conservative scenario where given only limited time to do it. Kaya ideal scenario po yung ginagawa namin. Ang una po nang ginawa namin ay makipag-coordinate din kay Governor Remulla through our regional director and our superintendent. Probinsya po kasi ang hawak ni Governor, so buong 6 ho ang aming superintendents na in charge niya, ni Governor. At i-explain po natin sa kanya itong conservative scenario na gusto nating mangyari. I think the 5 billion estimate is done by the local government unit. And we are checking it as well. Baka po kasama dito yung sinasabi natin mga ideal na mga requirements na dapat na magamit or mabigay sana natin. But as we have explained, we are pushing for the conservative scenario. At pangalawa, Johnson, meron hong budget ang DepEd. Marami hong, kanina sabi ko face-to-face ang aming budget. And we try to reprogram it, adjust according to ano po yung mga dapat na gawin ngayon. At yun po yung modular Some of it will be online. And of course, yung professionalization or capacity building ng ating mga teacher. May ida-download po kami na pera sa mga eskwelahan. Yun din pong paggamit ng school MOE o yung pong budget na nasa eskwelahan na, ay po pwede po gamitin sa modular. 6 po ang paraan ng pagkakaroon ng pondo para po sa ating learning continuity plan. At isa lang po yung Special Education Fund. Pero pinaka-importante po yan. Kasi yan po ang ibig sabihin ang commitment ng local government to the DepEd program.
So
yung iba po, yung pong Brigada Eskwela, Johnson, no, i-include ko lang kasi napakalaki rin muna contribution yan. Sabi ko 6. Una, yung budget namin sa DepEd. Pangalawa, yung budget na nasa eskwelahan na o nasa principal. Pangatlo, yung local government, yung SEF. Pang-apat, yung development partners or multilateral partners natin. Pang-5, yung ating Brigada Eskwela. At pang-6 ay nag-present na ho kami sa DBM at sana po sa Kongreso ay mabigyan din tayo ng supplemental budget.
Okay. So narinig po natin si Yusek Ann, no? Sinabi po niya yung pinanggagalingan ng mga budget para sa operationalization ng learning continuity plans ng mga school at sinabi po niya na galing po sa LGU is very important, no? Malaki po kami po sa Bulacan. Ang buong second quarter namin at fourth quarter manggagaling po sa provincial government, no? Yung aming second quarter, it was I think 198 million, almost 200 million para sa modules po ng aming 480,000 learners, no? So ganun po ka-importante yung support ng LGU sa SEF. Okay, yung SEF po, no? Okay, so ang DILG po, naglabas siya ng memo at ang sabi niya, it urged the LGU to assist the LGUs to assist the public schools in their areas and to adjust to the new normal, no, as well as to utilize the SEF to support the localization of the Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan of the DepEd. Ito po ay sinabi ni DILG Yusek Jonathan Malaya. By the way, si Yusek Jonathan Malaya po galing siya sa DepEd, no? So naintindihan po niya kung gaano ka-importante yung tulong po ng DILG, ng ating LGUs sa ating pong mga paaralan. Ang sabi niya, in a crisis, we need all the help that we can get. At ang SEF ay tulong na itinatadhana ng ating batas para sa pagpapanatili ng matibay na pundasyon at kalidad ng edukasyon sa ating bansa. Sabi po ni Yusek Jonathan, inihikayat natin ang LGUs na gamitin ito ngayong malaki ang kinakaharap na pagsubok ng ating sektor ng edukasyon. When we go back to our journey last year, no, kung paano po namin napagtagumpayan ang crisis, no, and we were challenged to provide unhampered education to our learners, no. The LGU has been really a very significant part of our success. Kung wala po ang LGU, especially yung SEF and other funds that were given to us, hindi po namin napagtagumpayan yon, no? So nakita po natin yon during the crisis, during the pandemic, okay? Ito po yung report ng DepEd na there were over 475 partner LGUs, NGOs, and external partners that partnered with the DepEd Schools Division offices. Kami po ay nagre-report kami sa mga to, no? So pag meron pong mga tulong, ang ating mga mayor, ang ating governor, even ang ating mga kapitan and other partners, we report them po, no? Sa ating opisina, sa ating central office, no? Kaya merong report po ang DepEd na nagsabing there were over 475 partner LGUs, NGOs that help po in the operationalization of our LGU. Ito po si Mayor Vico, no? Lahat tayo kilala natin si Mayor Vico. Funds po tayo, no? Ang sabi niya, ang pondo daw po para sa edukasyon ay isang investment, no? We hope that our leaders would really see it, no? I'd like to quote ang ganda po ng sinabi niya. Ang sabi niya, ang pera na inilalaan natin para sa edukasyon, hindi po yan gastos. Hindi po gastos ang bawat piso na ginagamit natin para sa edukasyon, para sa mag-aaral natin, no? Okay, the funds that we have allocated for education were not put to waste We did not waste every peso that we have used, sabi niya, for the education of our students. So ang ganda pong pakinggan, no? Sana lahat po ng LGU sinasabi nila yon na this is an investment for the future of our learners, for the future of our community, for the future of our country. So anong binigay po ng Pasig City Government? Nag-procure po sila ng 1.3 billion worth of laptops and tablet computers for the public school students and teachers, no? And Mayor Vico is saying this is investment. And after how many years, there will be an ROI. The return of investment will be our learners who now have better lives, no? They were able to finish their education and now are able to contribute to the economy of the country because they have their education. For those who are not able to finish college, they now work or they are now entrepreneurs. Okay? Ito po. I'd like to share this, siyempre po, kahit Kapampangan po ako, kasi nagsiserve ako ngayon sa Bulacan, I'd like to share the provincial level, no? Yung tulong po ng provincial government sa learning. Kanina ko pa po sinasabi na magkano, ilang milyon ang binigay po ng provincial government, no? Sa DepEd Bulacan. I'd like to share this report of our governor, no?
Natigil man ang pagtungo ng mga estudyante sa paaralan para matuto dahil sa COVID-19 pandemic, hindi naman nagpapigil ang Kagawaran ng Edukasyon o DepEd, mga guro, mga magulang, sa pagbibigay ng tamang edukasyon sa ating mga mag-aaral. Ang distance learning modality ay alternatibong paraan upang ang mga estudyante ay maaaring matuto kahit na nasa loob ng kanilang mga tahanan. Ito ay isa sa mga paghahandang isinagawa ng Kagawaran ng Edukasyon para sa New Normal Education. Atin tungayan ang sama-samang paghahanda sa pagsulong ng edukasyon sa panahon ng pandemya.
Until the COVID-19 vaccine is available, I will not allow the traditional face-to-face teaching or learning unless the risk of exposure to the sickness are eliminated. I cannot and will not put to rest the health and lives of our students and teachers.
Sama-samang paghahanda sa pagsulong ng edukasyon sa panahon ng pandemya. Prioridad ngayon ang kapakanan at kalusugan, kaya doble ang pag-iingat at paghahanda ang isinagawa ng Kagawaran ng Edukasyon, pamunuan ng paaralan, mga guro, at mga magulang upang makapaghatid pa rin ng dekalidad na edukasyon sa kabila ng hamon dulot ng pandemya.
Lahat ng ating levels of education dito sa probinsya ay gumawa ng kanilang learning continuity plans na pinagbatayan ng lahat ng activities, lahat ng gawain para sa new normal education natin ngayon.
Binigyan laya naman ang mga magulang at mag-aaral na pumili ng learning modalities o kung paanong paraan ng pagkatuto sa pamamagitan ng survey form na kasama sa enrollment.
13% sa ating mga mag-aaral na nagmula sa 228 na mga eskwelahan sa buong probinsya ang namili ng online modality. Sila ay magkaroon pa rin ng modules. Blended sila, modules plus yung online instruction din. 100% ay gustong magkaroon sila ng modules. Kaya kinonsider natin yon. Module writing ang sumunod kung saan maraming teachers natin ang involved dito.
Ang self-learning modules o SLM ay kagamitan ng mag-aaral na naglalaman ng isang aralin na madaling mauunawaan at magagawa ng mag-aaral. Ito ay inihanda para sa distance or remote learning.
Distance learning ang ginagawa natin ngayon. Maraming mga trainings para sa ICT skills ng ating mga teachers. Hindi lang teachers, kundi pati mga school heads. Tinrain din ang ating mga opisyal kung paano pag-monitor itong ginagawa natin ngayon.
Simula pa po nung bago magpasukan, hanggang sa nung nagsimula na po, ay nagkaroon po kami ng mga sunod-sunod na series of webinars. Ang karamihan po sa amin ay yung sa ICT po, una yung mga paggamit po ng modality, kung paano ba yung paggamit ng mga Zoom, kung paano gagamitin yung mga Google Drive, Google Documents, Google Form at iba po na nakakailanganin sa pagtuturo.
Upang matiyak naman na masusunod ang health standards, alinsunod sa mga pamantayan ng DOH upang maiwasan ang COVID-19 ay nagsagawa ng dry run sa pagkuha at pagbalik ng mga modules ng mga mag-aaral.
Since ang module naman po ay nasa 50% lang para palitan po. Gumawa po ng sistema ng aming punong guro, yung paggamit po ng mga cluster A, cluster B. Dinidisinfect po yung mga answer sheets na isinosole. Then after po ma-disinfect yung isosort out pa po yun sa per subject bago po makuha ng mga subject teachers.
Nagkaroon din ng pagtatagubinin sa mga magulang o tagapag-alaga dahil sa mahalaga nilang tungkulin sa paggabay sa mga mag-aaral upang maging posible ang patuloy na pagkatuto ng mga kabataan.
Yung sa orientation po na online, na-discuss po nila yun lahat mula sa preparation ng bata, kailangan nakapag-breakfast, nakaligo na. Parang pumapasok pa rin sila sa school. Naturuan naman po kami ng school, as in detalyado din na dito isa-submit, tapos pati yung pag-click.
Pinaghandaan din ng mga magulang ang bagong paraang ito, kung saan ay sa bahay lamang ang mga mag-aaral na gagawa ng mga aralin at aktibidad sa pagkatuto.
First, bumili kami ng study table para sa bata. Tapos sa laptop, nanghiram pa kami sa mother ko. Tapos, internet connection, nagpakabit pa ulit kami ng panibago kasi mababa yung Mbps namin. Typewriting, bumili kami ng pencil, ng crayon, lahat ng mga school supplies na kailangan. Folder, lalagyan na ng mga worksheet. Ngayong year po, sobrang laki ng adjustment namin. Ako, ng anak ko, tsaka ng mga kasama namin dito sa bahay. Orient ko po sila na kailangan pagka quiet muna. Buong part ng family nag-a-adjust dun sa bata.
Malaking pasasalamat din ang ibinibigay ng ating Schools Division, DepEd Bulacan. Kasi hindi kakayanin ng DepEd ang pag-aaral, pagtuturo ng ating mga kabataan kung hindi sa pamamagitan ng ating mga magulang. Sa ating mga kaguruan sa Schools Division of Bulacan, again, maraming salamat dahil andyan pa rin kayo at sama-sama nating gawing mas magaling ang ating mga kabataan dito sa Bulacan. Your SDO is just here to assist you.
Ang nagaganap ngayon ay implementation in progress, kaya naman tuloy-tuloy pa rin ang ginagawang pagpapaunlad, pagsasaayos, monitoring at umaasa ang kagawaran ng edukasyon sa malalim na pakitiisa ng mga guro, magulang at higit sa lahat ng mga mag-aaral para sa patuloy na pagsulong ng edukasyon.
Natigil man ang
Alright, so thank you. So that's our story po at SDO Bulacan, no? And we appreciate the help of our partners, our parents, and our LGU. Okay? So, ang pinag-uusapan po natin ngayon, this is all about SBM. Ang tawag namin po sa DepEd doon ay school-based management, no? Ito po yung parang pa-ASCO, pa-COCOA ng private school. This is the accreditation, no, of our schools. We have what we call the levels, no? And why do we have SBM? Because we want to have a child and community-centered education system. We call this the access, no? So it's not only a child-centered system, but it's a community-centered system. Ito po alam natin, we always say this, no? That to build a country, you have first to build a schoolhouse, no? At ang lagi natin rin sinasabi na it takes a village to educate a child. So kasama po lahat namin kayo, whether you are in the LGU, in other agencies, mga parents, all of us po, okay? We are the village that educate our children. This is the SBM. Meron po siyang conceptual framework. There are 4 areas: leadership and governance, curriculum and learning, the resource management, accountability and continuous improvement. I'd like to zero in sa leadership and governance because DepEd shares it with our partners. Okay? Pag tinignan mo po yung aming mga committee, merong nandun, for example, the barangay kagawad who is in charge of education is a member of the committee, no, the school planning team, the ones that prepare the school improvement plan. A member din po ang either kagawad or konsehal na in charge ng education sa Child Protection Committee. So kung may mga, for example, cases on child protection, member po siya, no? Kasama siya. So merong mga committee ang mga schools and even ang ating mga districts and ang mga division na kung saan kasama po ang ating LGU. Okay? Kasama po yung ating mga partners. When we say learner-centered education, SBM promotes a shared governance. Sabi ko nga po, yung governance ng school, it's not only with the principal. It is now shared with the partners. No? It makes school excel in basic education service delivery. It ensures protection of child's rights and promotes community development. It's also assessment that informs development plan and resource planning. Okay? So meron pong empowerment ang ating mga stakeholders, no? For them to actively participate in the continuous improvement of our schools and to attain the higher pupil student learning outcomes. So the accountability now is not only with the principal and the teachers, but it is shared with our stakeholders, with our partners. Okay, so at the school level, the school head, the teachers, the students, and the school staff work together with the community leaders, the local government officials, and other stakeholders to improve school performance. Wala na po kayong makikita ngayon na school na sila-sila lang. Okay? Lagi pong involved ang ating mga community leaders, ang ating mga local government officials. No? This is a more efficient way of increasing the accountability of all the stakeholders, all the agents who are involved in our schools, no? By empowering them to improve learning outcomes. Excuse me. Okay, I'd like to share with you my experience being a school head. No? This is San Matias High School. This was my school before I became an ASDS. Excuse me po. Okay. Ang tagline namin, ang brand ng school namin ay Home of the Champions. No? Ito po yung favorite selfie ko, no? During our flag ceremony. We had more than 3,000 learners, almost 4,000, more than 100 teachers. It's one of the big schools of DepEd Pampanga. Paano po naging Home of the Champions ang San Matias High School? No? I'd like to share with you a part of my presentation when my school was adjudged as the best SBM implementer. No? And I presented during the regional SBM Congress. Okay, I'll focus on the first area, okay, or first pillar of SBM, which is leadership and governance, which is shared with our stakeholders. No? So this is the first area of SBM, leadership and governance. So meron pong sa school na tinatawag na school-based management team or school governing council. No? Yan po, ako yung naka-yellow, ako po yung principal. No? Ito po yung aking SBM or School Governing Council. No? Yung aming PTA, kasama po si Vice Mayor. So Vice Mayor po ng Santo Tomas niya, no? Si Vice Mayor Louie. So member po siya ng aking SGC. No? So ito po yung aming tinatawag na SBM team. Kasama po yung LGU, kasama yung parents, kasama po yung teachers, and even our students. Alright? We also include our partners in the strategic planning. Okay, so yung nasa baba, ito po yung aming PTA at saka po yung barangay, no? Barangay official. So they are part of our strategic planning. So pag nag-planning po ang school, hindi lang po kami-kami lang, no? We invite our partners, our parents, and our LGU officials, no? Okay, ito po yung writing ng aming school improvement plan. So yung strategic planning, after ng strategic planning, we now prepare our school improvement plan, which is valid for 3 years. Okay, So sa Brigada Eskwela, kasama rin po namin ang ating mga LGU. Okay? During that time, I also organized our alumni association. No? So networking and linkaging, okay, is also very important. We were, during that time, we were awarded a website grant, no, by our Vice Mayor. So this is one of the linkages that we had during that time. Okay? So even yung planning at saka resource programming, kasama po yung stakeholders. Okay? So this is school-based management. The leadership and governance is now shared with our LGU. Meron pa po akong SOBA during that time, no? This is our barangay captain, no? Si Kapitana Pinky, no? Na meron po siyang SOBA during our meeting. So nagpipresent po siya sa ating mga school. Okay? Another school that I led po during that time is Tariq Suliman High School. Ang difference po ng San Matias High School at saka ng Tariq Suliman. Ang Tariq Suliman po is a very poor school, no? At nasa coastal area siya. Nagbabangka po ako doon ng 30 minutes sa Pampanga River bago po ako makarating, no? Tapos po, laging binabaha, mahirap siya. Pero it became one of the performing schools. Okay, this was because of partnership. This was because of collaboration with many stakeholders. Lagi po namin sinasabi, hindi namin kayang kami lang, no? Kasama po namin kayo. So I'd like to share with you this video. This was presented in a national Congress of School-Based Management. And during that time, DepEd Pampanga presented po the journey of Tariq Suliman High School, no? Kung paano po nag-improve yung learning outcomes through SBM. So this was a video that was presented in a National Congress on School-Based Management. And I like to share with you, this is my first experience of being a principal, my first transformation as a leader, and because I was transformed, I also transformed the school and the community.
Santungan parati
pasensya na po ha, 10 minutes po yon. So, every time na I share my story sa Tariq Soliman High School, naiiyak pa rin po ako. No? This was my first experience to be a principal. And as I shared kanina, I was not just a principal. No? I was part of the community. I was the mother of these learners. Okay, and when I see them, yung mga batang nakita nyo kanina, mga teachers na po yung mga yon, mga engineer na sila ngayon, tapos na sila, no? And they have better lives because of this gift of education. At kung nakita nyo yung last na part, yung aming formula po is the culture of partnership is equal to the culture of excellence. No? The school, despite being poor, palagi pong binabaha. Kaya tingnan nyo po yung environment, hindi ganun talaga kaganda. The excellence in education. No? We became the top performing school, the best implementer of SBM, the eco-friendly school, okay, awarded school. Meron pa kaming first place ng news page, yung dyaryo po namin, no? Nanalo sa buong Pilipinas. Number 4, pero first place sa news page. So even our learners, they regained their dignity. Kasi dati po ay ang tawag sa kanila sa Kapampangan, maburak abitis, no? Yung maputik ang paa, no? They didn't have the dignity because they were not learned. Okay, but when they had the high school, they even went to college, they gained that dignity of being educated, of being learned, no? And they have now better lives. So that's the effect of education. Kung nakita niyo yung nakalagay sa bandang dulo, it says that the quality education of our children is the best gift that we can give them. So my story of San Matias High School and Tariq Soliman High School when I was a principal, okay, are beautiful stories of transformation of the school, of the community, and most especially of our learners because of education. And school-based management is emphasized because in school-based management, governance and leadership is shared, no, with all our partners, with our LGUs, okay, the NGOs, even the church, even other civic groups, no, and our private individuals and organizations. Okay, so that's my sharing on the two schools, no, and even on the division where I am now, the schools division of Bulacan. So I hope you can now also do the sharing on how you help education in your own way, in your agencies, even if you are not in the LGU. How do you contribute to the education of our learners in your own communities? Wait po. Okay, can we have, it's already 3:20. Can we have just one sharing before we end our sharing for today? How do you feel now? How do you see education? And is it only the LGUs that should be helping our education? Is there a call to you now that you should also be supporting the education of our learners, especially those in the public schools, no? Because our public schools really need the engagement of our stakeholders. Okay. Sige. While you are thinking of what you will share, can we have the last Mentimeter? I would like to ask your commitment after learning how DepEd works and what your contribution can do with the realization of DepEd's vision and mission. What can you now commit to support to the education of our youth? What will you commit to support the education of our youth? Can you share? Tingnan natin kung ano yung commitment. Sana merong, today it's not just learning, no? It's not just improving our mind, the cognitive, but there was an effect on the heart, okay, on how you can contribute to the education of our learners wherever you are, in your community, in your municipality, in your province, or even outside your community or your jurisdiction. Can we see? Sige. Can you answer? Were you able to get the link or the code? The code is 13023465. Okay, can we see your answers? Love one another, being respectful, steward of God. What else? How will you contribute to DepEd? How will you contribute your time? You will also contribute yourself. Okay, to help crafting the policy to sustain the partnership of DepEd and LGUs. Gain in education. What else? So even if you are not in the LGU, we have what we call the Adopt a School program now, where you can contribute to our schools, contribute to the development of our learners. Okay, being partners. Sige po, I can see also your chats. Continue learning and have experience. Sige po. When you say partners, being partners, you can contribute to the realization of DepEd's vision, mission. You can help our learners, okay, in terms of the improvement of their literacy. Be a role model for our learners, for our children. What else? What can you contribute to our schools? Okay, support and inspire kids. Help them to go to school, probably to provide scholarship. That's all right. Thank you. Partner in health. Okay, yung ating mga nasa health sector. All right, si Ma'am Emelitang sabi niya to give webinars or seminars. Okay, collaborate with schools. Be proactive on education programs. Thank you. Thank you for that commitment. Okay, support all the programs of the Department of Education. Thank you. Thank you for that commitment. All right. Yung iba, they say health lecture. Okay, siguro ito yung mga nasa health agencies natin. Thank you. Yun po ang support. Lalo na po ngayon, we really need the partnership with our health sector. Sige, effort. Sige po, myself, provide equipment. All right, thank you. So these are our commitment. I hope by being in school with the MPA program, you would see the importance of your contribution to education. And we all agree that education is important for our youth, for our community, and for our country. All right. So thank you for your participation. Okay, I think I have my last slide. This is actually a message from our learners, and their message is, maraming salamat po sa malasakit. Ayusin ko lang siya. So this is a message from our learners, and they say maraming salamat sa malasakit nyo sa kanila. No? So hindi lang po DepEd ang nagmamalasakit sa kanila, even you as our partners, the LGUs, the NGOs, the civil society group, the different agencies of the government, okay, the private sector, no? Okay, how do you contribute? Paano pinapakita yung malasakit sa kanila? By helping in the provision of access to complete quality basic education to them, no? By helping also that every graduate is prepared for further education and the world of work, né? And it says that the K-12 education, the delivery of the basic education services to our learners is effective, efficient, and it's collaborative. No? It's not just us in DepEd, Kapampangan tuloy ako. DepEd, it's not us in DepEd, no, who provides quality education to our learners, but we have you as our partner. So we thank you for that partnership. We thank you for your contribution to the mission of education for our learners. So maraming salamat po. If I think we still have time, can we have sharing from our participants on what happened after that? Sige po, si Ma'am Leia po ang sabi niya, share ko lang po, taga-assessor's office po ako, ginagawa po namin lahat para salamat po ma'am, para makakolekta ng buwis sa RPT. Okay, para po sa CEF. Thank you po, Ma'am Leia. Si Ma'am Emelita ang sabi niya, yung SPES program, okay. Sige, si Ma'am Lucy, sabi po niya, teach the children to protect the environment. We do that kasi po ang ating isa po sa core values natin is makakalikasan. Can we have sharing from you? What is now the call for you? How would you contribute to the education of our learners? And when you do so, you are contributing to the future of our country, okay? The education of our young. Can we have sharing from some of our participants? Ma'am Leia, can you share that? Kung ano po yung paano niyo po ginagawa yon? Ang ganda naman po yon. We appreciate that. Can we have Ma'am Leia?
Yes, ma'am. Hello po. Good afternoon. Yes po. Ma'am, sa assessor's office po ako.
Saan pong province, ma'am? Municipality? Saan pong municipality?
Municipality ng Kalumpit, Bulacan, ma'am.
Sige po. So how do you do that po? Paano nyo po ina-encourage ang ating mga kalumpitenyo na magbayad po sila ng kanilang amilyar?
Ma'am, we conduct tax mapping po. Kasama po namin dyan yung mga taga-Kapitolyo, tsaka tulong na rin po ng barangay. Mahalaga po sa atin to, ma'am, kasi yung pong 1% na basic tax, yung po yung pinaghahati-hatian namin. Kapitolyo, munisipyo, tsaka barangay. Pero yung 1% po, napupunta po yun sa Special Education Fund para nga po diyan po sa pagsuporta po na yun. Talagang, ma'am, nag-aano po kami, nagbabarangay kami, lumalakad kami sa kainitan ng araw. Grupo-grupo po kami, ma'am, para po matutukan po namin, masisingil po namin at ma-assess po yung pong mga hindi nakadeclare ng mga arian.
Pag nagse-seminar kayo, ma'am, i-share nyo po yan sa ating mga assessors na kamukha po nyo. No? That's a very good practice para po lahat talagang makakolekta po para sa ating CEF. Kasi alam nyo naman kung saan po napupunta yung ating CEF.
Ay, yes, ma'am. Bali po kapag nag-conduct kami niyan, ma'am, project po yan actually, ma'am, ng Kapitolyo. So, binababa po yan sa mga LGU po na under po ng Kapitolyo. Hindi lang po dyan kasama yung city dahil may sarili po sila, ma'am. So, lahat po ng bayan na under po ng Kapitolyo, ma'am, sabay-sabay po kami, ma'am, na nagko-conduct sa mga bayan-bayan.
Thank you. Magandang practice po yun. No? Siguro, sana yung other provinces also do that. Thank you po, Ma'am Leia, for sharing.
Thank you
Salamat. What about the others po? Ano po yung ating, sabihin nyo na, this is my contribution to the education of our young. And therefore, that's your contribution to the future of our country, no? The future of our nation. Can we have others who would like to share? Sir Danny, saan po kayo papunta?
Hello, ma'am.
Hello po. Saan po kayo?
Si Emmy po.
Sige po, Ma'am Emmy. Sige po, sa Giginto po.
Opo. Kasi ang trabaho ko po ay sa peso manager po. Yung aking po engineer kanina, yung webinar at saka po yung sa SPES program, binibigay po namin ito sa mga grade 10 saka sa grade 12. Lahat po, yung seminar na binibigay namin, yung pre-employment orientation seminar, anti-illegal recruitment, entrepreneurship, tsaka po yung labor for the employment of the graduating students. Kasi minsan po, di ba, hindi naman lahat ay nagdediretso sa college. Yung iba, tinuturuan namin kung ano yung tamang mga sa holiday, mga pasahod. And then, at saka po yung iba naman ay nagninegosyo. Kaya sa opisina po namin, ito yung idinidiscuss namin sa mga bata. At isa pa po yung SPES, ito po yung Special Program for the Employment of Students. Ito po ay 15 to 30 years old na yun sa time na bakasyon po nila.
Yung summer po, no?
Yung summer job na tinatawag po ay merong private company and the LGU and the barangay. 60% ay nanggagaling sa company at sa munisipyo ang sahod nila at yung 40% po ay sa DOLE. Kaya malaking tulong po ito sa mga estudyante para pangbili o magamit nila doon sa kanilang mga pangangailangan. Kaya po
may data po kayo noon, ma'am. Marami po sa ating mga estudyante ang sumasali po doon.
Opo, ma'am. Kasi usually ang kinokontak namin po dyan ay yung mga schools mismo. Kagaya niyan. Opo, itong May, ang provincial capital po ang mismo na lahat ng mga public schools natin dito sa Bulacan, binigyan na po namin ng seminar na ito, yung PEOS, at saka nga po yung entrepreneurship, at saka yung sa legs na tinatawag nga po natin.
Ganda po.
Opo, by 28 ay yung sa private school naman po dito sa Giginto din ang naka-schedule po na mabigyan ng seminar.
Thank you po, Ma'am Emmy.
Opo, yun lang po. Maraming po salamat.
Meron po kayong research ng ano po yung impact ng mga capacity building o mga webinars or seminars na binibigay nyo ganon? Like, after nyo pong nagbigay, ano po yung impact sa ating mga estudyante? Meron po ba kayong ganon?
Yung nakakaraan po kasi face-to-face po kami. Ngayon po na nagkaroon ng pandemic, itong May na po na to kami nag-start. Bali, yung sa webinar po ay usually wala pa po. Pero doon sa mga face-to-face, malaking tulong po doon sa mga bata kasi talagang pagkatapos po nila ng kanila po na grade 12 ay magwo-work na po sila, ay nakakatulong po ito ng malaki sa kanila. Lalo po yung sa SPES, marami po akong mga SPES baby na ngayon po ay talagang nagwo-work na po sila talaga, na nakagraduate na sila, na napakalaki po yung tulong na nakapag-dire-diretso po sila ng pag-aaral. Meron po kaming data sa munisipyo.
Opo, ay maganda po yun, ma'am. Parang magandang kwento po kasi mga yan, no? Na after nyo pong binigyan ng tulong sa pamamagitan ng trainings ninyo, ito po yung nangyari sa kanila. So maganda pong i-document yung mga stories po nilang ganon. Salamat po sa program nyo yun. I think nakataas po yung kamay. Thank you po, Ma'am Emmy. Sana po minsan magkita po tayo pag nasa Giginto po ako. Ma'am Lucy, Ma'am Lucy, naka-raise hand po kayo. Ano po yung isi-share niyo po, ma'am?
Okay, ma'am. Isi-share ko lang po yung mga activities ng aming tanggapan na DNR. Ma'am, yung for your information po, meron po kami isang unit na in every year po, meron akong mga kasamahan na nagbibigay ng IEC campaign sa mga schools, barangay, na nagbibigay po kami ng mga pamphlets, leaflets po, para maipamahagi at yung information na yung tungkol po sa kalikasan, sa environment pong pangangalaga. Kaya po yung minsan, yung kami ay lumalapit sa school, like meron po ng last year ho, yung wala pang pandemic na declared na uli, nagpunta po yung mga kasamahan ko sa Norsagaray, Angat, and San Jose del Monte. They distribute all the dictionaries, yung mga ano po, para magamit doon sa mga schools. Kaya nag-donate po sila nakalikom sila yung mga office mate kung may mga dictionary na 1 to 14 ba yung ano niya. Angat po, Norsagaray ang nakakuha at saka doon sa mga liblib na lugar. Kaya ma'am, yun
ano po yung ano ma'am, yung partnership nyo in terms of environmental education, yung sinasabi nyo po kanina na, di ba, yung isa po sa ano ng DepEd, yung makakalikasan, ano po nakikipag-partner po sa mga eskwelahan?
Nag-ano po kami ma'am, yung nag-information education campaign kami sa mga bata na magsisimula yung basurang plastic ay ilalagay sa mga bote na para po gamitin sa may mga project po yan na katutunguhan para ma'am yung mga bata ay ma-educate natin na yung mga balat ng candies or any chichirya po ay maiayos ng waste segregation.
Ginagamit po yata yan sa ano ma'am, yung paggawa ng building? Parang may ibang... Opo.
Kaya sabi ko, ma-share ko nga sa inyo. Kaya po yung national government na DNRA, nakikipag-partner din po kami sa school, barangay, with the waste segregation and cleanliness sa Kailugan at pagtatanim po ng puno. Yun lang po ma'am ang ma-share ko sa...
Maganda pong partnership natin yon, no? Kasi yung environmental awareness at saka po yung responsiveness ng ating mga estudyante, no? Para po sa kalikasan.
Para sa kalikasan ay mapangalagaan.
Opo. Salamat po sa partnership po natin, Ma'am Lucy.
Okay, thank you din po, ma'am.
Doc Alvin, meron pa po bang mag-share?
Yeah, I think everyone has participated actively. Mula pa lang doon sa Mentimeter.
Favorite ko yun.
And hanggang sa sharing ng kanilang mga tulong na ibinibigay sa DepEd. I think one thing that I would like to share also, parang takeaway, that partnership is really important. And Department of Education is also an equally important government sector of the nation of the Philippines. Gusto kong balikan yung sinasabi ni Gato Serizal na ang kabataan ng pag-asa ng bayan. Kaya hindi natin pwedeng pabayaan na ang basic education ay mahuli. Kasi these are our future leaders, future managers, future educators, etc. etc. So nakakalungkot mang isipin na sana hindi magtagal ito, kasi talagang kailangan nating maibalik sa normal ang pagtanggap ng quality education ng ating mga mag-aaral. Kaya sa abot na makakaya, ang DepEd, like me sa Hagonoy, talagang ginagawa ang lahat upang ang mga mag-aaral ay talagang hindi ma-left behind. Kaya lang, syempre, meron pa rin mga suliranin na kinakaharap, no? Katulad ng self-learning module na yan, na syempre kadalasan ay pag hindi na kinakaya ng bata, parents na yung sumasagot. So at least ang advantage na lang doon, hindi pa rin zero yung mga bata pagdating sa pagkakatuto. Pero sana bumalik na sa normal ang lahat. At kung hindi man babalik sa normal ang lahat, ay magkaroon ng technological innovations. Inisip ko nga ma'am na halimbawa na ang national government, instead na mag-alat ng budget for module, magbigay na lang tablets na, tapos nandun na sa tablets yung mga module, offline learning through the module, less pa yung pagpunta ng mga parents sa school.
Saka we can conserve papers.
Yes,
no?
Conserve the trees. And then, ganoon din naman, pagka yung mga papel kasi, parang nasasayang lang din afterwards. So I was just thinking aloud if that would be possible in the future, if the national government...
We can actually recommend that, no? We can actually recommend policies sa ating central office.
Yeah. So, sa ngayon ay talagang ang DepEd ay nangangailangan ng full cooperation and collaboration from other sectors of the government kasi para sa akin, isa ito sa mga pinaka-importante din na aspeto ng government sector. Bukod sa health, syempre una-una na yung health, yung education din ay importante din po. Kasi hindi katulad sa atin sa grad school or sa college, ang self-learning module or independent learning is very applicable na. Ang kinakabahala ko lamang at kinalulungkot ko yung mga pre-LM tsaka LM na hindi pa talaga kaya yung independent.
Tsaka SPED.
Tsaka
SPED din.
So doon ako doon yun yung pinag-iisipan ko kung paano talaga maipapamahagi yung mga most essential learning competencies at this point of pandemic na hindi magsasacrifice yung ating quality education. So lahat ng sektor ng gobyerno ay importante. Ang DepEd ay importante din. No? Kaya nga, pag sinabing MPA, kasama dyan ng DepEd. Kaya nandito kami ni Mabuti. Kasi akala nila pag sinabing MPA,
mga public servants din tayo eh.
Public servants din tayong lahat. Pag sinabi kasing MPA, akala local government lang. All sectors of government, including higher education and basic education, are really part and parcel of this what we call government sector. And we are all public servants. Yun ang aking takeaway for this afternoon. Salamat.
Thank you, Sir Alvin.
Yeah. So I guess wala na silang tanong at marami siguro silang
sana po
nakuhang impormasyon mula sa Department of Education at sana kung meron silang mga programa sa kanilang mga sector, each respective sector na pwede nilang may contribute sa DepEd. Of course, ang DepEd is very willing to collaborate and to cooperate with you in terms of further improving the quality of education in the basic education, because basic education is the foundations of all education. Yun po yung ating pinapangalagaan sa ngayon, yung basic education na yan. So kung wala nang katanungan, at this point in time, we would like to, of course, express our sincere gratitude to our speaker for today na nagbigay naman talaga na napaka-komprehensibo na pagtatalakay. Tagalog na ako. Na pagtatalakay tungkol sa Department of Education na talagang kailangan ng partnership and collaboration with local government units. At ang DepEd din po ay hindi rin po kayang, para sa akin, hindi po kayang mamuhay mag-isa kung walang local government unit. Katulad nga po na shinare ko kanina sa Hagonoy, kung yun ay walang basbas, at yun kung di ako papayagan ng Hagonoy Municipality, hindi po may implement yung SLM, yung Learning Continuity Plan ng Hagonoy. So, we need one another. We should be cooperating and we should be united as one, during this time of pandemic. So with that, a round of applause. Pwede po bang pakibigyan si Ma'am Weng ng digital applause para sa magandang sharing ngayong hapon?
Salamat po.
Ayan po. Yan na lang magagawa natin ngayon, Ma'am Weng, digital applause.
Thank you.
At mukhang may dagdag kaalaman sa ating MPA students na natutunan nila ngayong hapon. So maraming salamat sa lahat. And mag-iingat tayong lahat and hopefully Ma'am Weng, kailan tayo mababakunahan?
Wala pa yatang schedule pero nakaano na tayo kay Gov na.
So hopefully ang lahat ay mabakunahan na in the future para kapag zero cases na may balik na natin sa actually hindi na normal we will have a new normal situation. So with that, good afternoon everyone, keep safe, God bless and mag-iingat po palagi. No? Maraming salamat, Ma'am Weng.
Thank you.
Maraming salamat.
God bless you po. God bless you.
God
Stay
bless
safe.
everyone. Maraming salamat.
Thank you.
God bless.
Sabi po sa Giginto, tapos na yung mga sa empleyado.
Sana sumali tayo sa Giginto.
Yung konti na lang po ang hindi nababakuna pero ni-schedule na po.
Kanina ko pa narinig yung Giginto na yan Mukhang maganda ang practice sa Giginto.
Gusto na magpalipat ni Doc Alvin sa Giginto.
Gagawa na ako ng letter sa DepEd.
5 years na si Sir Gilbert.
More than 5 years na yata, Ma'am.
Gawa ka na ng sulat. Okay, salamat po.
Thank you po.
Nakaka-bless po kayo. Thank you.
Ingat.
Thank you,
Bye-bye,
Marvin.
everyone.
Thank you
Thank
po.
you. By the way, the lecture of Ma'am Weng is recorded. I will be uploading this in your GC in case you would like to refresh some of the topics that were discussed, no? For educational purposes, no? Pwede ko i-upload sa GC later. Maraming salamat. Bye-bye po. Ingat.
God bless you.
Okay, God
Happy
bless
weekend,
po.
everyone.
Okay, God bless you po.